Legacy, let's just address this situation. Different room. Face looks like I've gone through 36 hours of travel. You know why? Weirdly enough, because I did. And I'm up early because the game starts soon and I wanted to get this out. Would have rather had this done a couple days ago, so I'm not so skewed by, the next matchups and the things that have already happened, but whatever. This one should be a short one. No NFL bit. Let's go right to what happened last week in our two matchups, then a sneak peek to our playoffs and all of the matchups as we head into next week. I told you last week we couldn't let Connor in the playoffs. He doesn't let us have nice things, and now Kent had to deal with it. So this is everybody's fault. What sucks even worse, Rushki, and you know this, I'm just got to say it. I think you were the second highest leading scorer in the week. It just sucks you bumped into the one guy. So let's sing your praises first and just point out, you had your boy against Cleveland, which doesn't sound great, but Cleveland has been a fairly tight defense. The fact he was overpredicted was a good thing. You had the RB3 in Cook. You had the wide receiver 3 and 5. The tight end 3 was on your bench. I'm not dogpiling. That would have been a good play. Wouldn't have really accounted for the whole thing. Just half of the difference. When it really came down to is, Burrow just hating football all of a sudden and not being able to do anything against Baltimore, I'm going to blame him. Breece Hall had his weeks for sure. This wasn't one of them. And Pickens was a huge pickup for you all week or all year, just not this week. What it really came down to, weirdly enough, was Jets at Jaguars. Yeah, because on the flip side of that coin, you can already see it. Quarterback 1 performance, running back 2 performance, and Brian Thomas, remember that he can in fact get open and catch a football. That was pretty special. You would think it was Taylor that went off. It was not. Also, the defense was a defense 3. He also had the tight end. He just had bigger performances. And when it came down to the low level, yes, his wide receivers drastically underperformed, as did one of his running backs. He did have some options on the bench that he could have been more creative with, but ultimately, when you have this kind of outpouring and you have the big numbers, sometimes it just comes down to having the big guys with the biggest stick. In this week, almost 200 points for Connor. He's moving on to the semis. Way to go. The J and the J I was referring to for the Jets, Jaguars. Now we have Jason Joshua. A lot of J's. Unfortunately, this one didn't quite work out for you. You did have some performances that worked well. Bijan being your guy, the RB4. Now don't even have to tell you, the Niners defense, that's not what you wanted. You also had a lot of points on your bench. You must have been kind of bummed about that. Not saying it would have made the biggest difference because in those positions you were okay. But having some of these flex numbers, especially Mikey Evans, would have been all right. Now, don't worry, though, because Marco spotted you. He put the quarterback 2 on the bench. He did have the quarterback 4 still cooking, though. And it's not like Hurts hurt him that badly. But, hey, big up on you, Marco. There's no way you felt good about putting Hurts back in there. Your wide receivers were meh, but you did just enough. And, again, back to Jacksonville. Man, they were just the team to have. Now, flip of the coin, both guys are kicking themselves in the other matchup because both of them would have been well in this one, but doesn't matter. Matchups do count. That's why you play every week. 4 and 5 seed is what it is. Our league winner by name might end up being our league winner in real life. Let's see how it goes as Marco goes to the semis. Looking at our consolation round, we are a competitive league from top to bottom. The bottom of the Tims are going at it, and both are trying to be over-predicted. Now, I'm not just going to go and list all the people that actually already did things. I would say beforehand, we had some people, especially on Tim's side, if he decides to start everybody in Nut Rice. He's had guys go off. He's been a number 1. He's had Justin Jefferson, who's just bit him in the butt. On the flip side, you could say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. They're not really putting their best lineup in, so I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of time, but it's kind of funny that they're both already, right now, destined to be over-predicted. On the flip side, I'm not going to talk much about this one. Rennie looks like he's pretty upset, doesn't really care if he finishes, which is not like Rennie. It wouldn't shock me if he kind of came back at this one, especially, it's not like he has a lot of quarterback options, but there are some people on the waivers. I don't know, not really sure. 2 teams that definitely had times this year that they were looking to be in the playoffs. Obviously disappointed. Let's see if they make the best of it. 5-6 is a dubious one. You're still in the top echelon. You can still finish at least in the top half. Both teams looking like they're at least taking this one seriously, which I'm digging. When it comes down to it, I think just like last week, they both had some people go off. Now it looks like they're responding with some wide receivers. Evans out of midweek last week. Drake London could be on account. If he's not, that Arizona matchup is massive, and they already were off to a good start. So this one looks like they're playing for pride and they're playing for piff. In our semifinal, looks like Jeff is out early here. I mean, having the receivers that he has, I'm not just going to again talk about it, but in these weeks, it takes big performances from big players. If Jacksonville can bounce back and have the same kind of matchup, then maybe Etienne, although we already see, not surprisingly, this is the benefit of having half the quarterbacks in the league go through your roster. You don't have to play them when it's just garbage matchup. He's going to row a rest on Allen and obviously Brissett. Don't blame him here. Kirk Cousins is involved in the semifinal. That's just not something you hear every day. One team got off to a good start, but let's be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if you want to put up that 200 spot just to feel good. So don't count Connor out quite yet, but Jeff off to a good start in the semi. Speaking about not off to a good start to the semi, you know what you don't need? Your quarterback to have head-on-head contact in a nationally televised game while you're getting off of a plane and looking like this. So that's not awesome. Not over yet, though. There's a lot to be played here. I might have a little bit too much in terms of rookie love. Got a lot of them in my lineup right now, so let's see how that pans out for me, including a tight end who is playing with a quarterback who might not actually even have met him before, so that's not positive. On the flip side of the coin, we got some running backs who have had monster weeks and dud weeks. You know what I'm hoping for. You also know what Marco's hoping for. So this one, it would not shock me if it came down to, like I keep saying, those one or two defining performances. I'm hoping the defining performances is on the positive and not on the concussion-y. All right, Legacy, next time you see me, I'll probably have shaved and I certainly will have slept. So let's see if that helps out. But exciting day. I care about every single matchup because I'm someone who actually checks my Yahoo stuff. Some people do, some people don't, but we definitely know our top four is paying attention. So best of luck to everyone, even you, Marco.